is a KCCI Storm Team 8 weather update.
I'm KCCI Storm Team 8 meteorologist John Rivas. We can get links one in these graphics, please, so we can talk about the new severe thunderstorm warning that has now been expanded into Polk County. We are weather alert today because we are experiencing these very strong storms, and this is what I'm talking about. Right now, the severe thunderstorm warning has now been extended. It does include the metro, Polk County, even extending up into Ankeny right now. We're going to freeze frame this, and this is going to go until 9:45 this morning. We're looking at the history with this particular storm system producing 60 to 70, even close around 79-mile-per-hour winds. That was one register at a station well in its wake now, but as of currently, we're still going to be looking at the large hailstones, possibly looking at close to around an inch in diameter. Some reports have been closer to around an inch and a quarter, inch and a half even at the peak, but right now it does look like the hail has really downgraded, which of course, good thing, because if you are parked outside, you don't want to have to worry about that. But we are going to put a tracker on this right now. It is moving about 40 miles per hour, and as we go through the rest of this morning, going to around even going all the way to pretty much Altoona area, east of the metro, you don't have much time. About 15 minutes until Grimes. If we dig further off to the east, you're going to be dealing with a little bit more closer to the time frame. About 20 minutes now for the heart of Des Moines, going into even 30 minutes to 35 minutes before we're talking about closer to the Altoona area, even talking about Ankeny in that close to 20 to 30 minute time frame. So that is what we're looking at right now. Let's go ahead and take this off the screen. We'll put this back in motion. You see just exactly what we are dealing with. It is a strong system, and it's the strongest part of this line of storms, really starting to become a little bit disorganized, at least on the northern and southern edges of the core of activity here. But we do have a feature that we've been seeing, which is kind of indicative of very strong winds. It's that V feature in that last radar image. I'll show that one more time, and you can see, I'll even draw it so you can see we do have that little bit of a V feature. When you have that, that's going to be producing those very strong winds, which is why we've been seeing 70 and close to 80 mile per hour winds with this system alone. So as far as this, I'm going to look a little bit further north. We're not seeing any rotation either. Very bright colors, but you're not really seeing that very sharp green or white with that red color. It's not really going to be very prevalent here for us. Even if we look at the storm relative velocity, just going to be some very bright colors, but not what we see whenever we're looking at rotation. So these are straight line winds, but they do have history of producing around 60 to 70 miles per hour. And in fact, let's go ahead and take a look. 70 mile per hour winds. This is in Stuart not too long ago. This is 8:30. It was about 15 minutes ago. So this storm definitely does have the capability of doing that. Let's look at another 170 also in the Stuart area about the same time. Further off, this is the one that I was looking at. 79 mile per hour wind gust. That was as it passed Adair County. And this was from a personal weather station. So yeah, this is a very strong system, can lead to damage when it comes to those winds. Not going to be looking at too much of a hail issue. It could still be looking at a core of about an inch in diameter. Let's go ahead and take a look at those impacts right now. Take a little sample here. Those shades of purple, looks like the worst of it is going to be closer to, let's go ahead and zoom in and see just exactly where that is located, because that is the better chance for that hail. It's right over Winterset. So yeah, you're going to be looking at potential damage with those hailstones, unfortunately. And even further to the north of there, still going to be looking at the shades of purple and even embedded that lighter shade, which is indicative of the larger hailstones just out east of Earlham, making its way into Adel as well. Waukee, not too long before that type of the really strong convection, strong rain, and that pea-size to potentially near that inch in diameter hail will start here for you. But as we go through the rest of this morning, this is in the next half hour going to be moving into the metro from west to east. So it's going to be passing very quickly. This is a system that has been making its movement around 40 miles per hour. It has slowed down since earlier, but it's still not going to really be winding down that intensity as far as the damaging characteristics. We'll put this back in motion. I'll put the timer on it just one more time if anyone missed it, and we'll go ahead and clear all this information, zoom out just a little bit so we can see just the timing of this system one more time. Looking at it being the metro here in the next 15, lasting around 20 minutes, and then making its way off to the east pretty quickly. So if you are further off to the east of the metro, you're going to want to prepare yourself for this strong storm system as well, because again, it's just not really winding down as far as what to expect as far as this really intense convection and very strong winds. That seems to be the bigger issue with this. Putting that tracker on one more time. You're looking closer around 10 minutes from now over Beaverton, coming closer around 12 minutes, and Martinsdale close around 13 minutes. Dallas Center looking at 3 minutes. So you do want to make sure you are indoors as this passes. It's not going to take too long for it to pass, because we are going to, this is a very fast moving line of storms. This is something we're going to continue to watch. If there is any rotation that does develop with this line of storms, we will be cutting back into programming. So stay with us as we continue through this morning, and also for this afternoon, because we are still tracking very strong storms later on today. Stay with KCCI through the entire day, and we are going to keep you updated as we get the updates moving forward.